A very good evening. It's another beautiful Wednesday on Gttv Newsday. We are broadcasting to viewers in the Gambia and around the world. We begin with the top stories. President Adam Barrow on Tuesday received agriculture experts from United States who are in the country to help diversify the agriculture into mechanic. Hundreds of river travelers have been speaking out their concerns after the Gambia ferry service took both ferries out of service for maintenance. Atagay has won fans with a spectacular performance in his put-in concert. The lead singer of Morgan Heritage, Peter Morgan, has died at age 46. In internationals, Nigeria has imposed annual levy on expatriate workers amid biting economic challenges. Guinea's junta has appointed former opposition leader Mamadou Wuri Ba as new prime minister. Those are the headlines and more details in the news just after the short commercial break. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Gttv News at 9 p.m. with me, Aissatou Kuli. The Gambian leader, Adam Barrow, on Tuesday received officials from the US-based Elevate Global who are in the country on a study tour in ways to mechanize the agricultural sector to tackle insecurity. More on this report. His Excellency President Adam Barrow on Tuesday received in audience the Elevate Global from Texas in the United States, accompanied by the Minister of Agriculture, Demba Sabali, at the State House in Banjul. The team, which consists of experts in rice agriculture, is in the country for an assessment of the national agenda of the ministry and the government on how to mechanize the agricultural sector, which is rice self-sufficient for the Gambia, on how to develop the rice value chain. After a closed-door meeting with President Barrow, the Minister for Agriculture, Demba Sabali, shared summary of the meeting with the media of the plan and how to empower young people into agriculture by using latest technologies for growth.
Mechanization, and youth involvement. Our farmer population is aging, and I think every Gambian knows that. And the only sustainable way to continue production and productivity is what do we do to entice the youth, the young people of this country, to be agriculturists. And the surest way is to reduce drudgery on the land. And the way to reduce drudgery is mechanization. So our discussion is centered on how do we mechanize the Gambia's agriculture. And I think once that is done, the youth are going to be enticed to come into agriculture. So mechanization is the key thing, and also increasing yield. Currently, our yield production is great. We are moving towards 7 tons per hectare. However, given the experts that are here, there are parts of the world that are producing up to 10 tons per hectare. So increasing yield within the same hectarage using the latest possible technologies is the key and the sustainable way to increase productivity. And that was the center of the discussion.
Gil Gonzalez, the president and chief executive officer of Elevate Global, outlines key areas of focus, which is agriculture and horticulture, which he said is the future of the country.
Also, horticulture production and the engagement and development of youth is going to be crucial. They are the future of your country. And we think that's the importance of having the youth engagement component. And at some point, at the time when we see an opportunity for investment in trade to also improve over a period of time. But that's really our goal, our focus. We'll be back. We also have partners in Korea that we're talking to about resource development in the areas of agriculture, in the areas of also ICT, which will be kind of integrated into agriculture, and also entrepreneurship. It'll be another component we'll look at as well.
The team is expected to meet with all stakeholders, including the University of the Gambia, officials of the Ministry of Fisheries, Environment, and NGOs, and have a conducted field tour of rice fields, talk to farmers for a proper formulation so Gambia can be rice self-sufficient. Aissatou Kuli, Gambian Talents TV News. Trouble continued to build up for hundreds of passengers on Monday after both breakdown ferries were abruptly taking out of service, forcing travelers with no option but to opt for boat journeys, whose sailors double up fares. This followed last week's unfortunate situation after the same ferries were broke down late Thursday evening, which forced scores of travelers to either abandon their journey or join the wooden boats. Our reporter Fatou Baji was at the Banjul docking ports to sound the reactions of the desperate passengers, who include women and children.
Left with no option in a desperate situation, these travelers lined up for boat traveling as boat ferries were taken out of operation for the second time in less than a week. The situation has attracted a wide range of condemnation and disappointment among Gambians both at home and abroad. In barely no enough life jackets for these passengers in mostly wooden conditioned boats lined up to be docked in the boats, as sailors double fares on mostly poor travelers. But that might not be the main issue. The most concerning matter at hand here is the safety of passengers, who blame the sailors of overloading their boats, despite having security officers attacked to look into the safety aspect of the passengers. After 24 hours of the double situation, the management of the Gambia Ferry Service issued a statement announcing that the ferries are back in service, as they offer an apology to the public amid a backlash. The Gambian President Adama Barrow has been strongly urged to look into the ferry issues and take drastic actions against the management of the ferry service, who are accused of underperformance. Most of these passengers who spoke to Gambian Talents Promotion called on the government to provide new ferries to avoid future problems. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Fatmata Esbaj.
Now, OIC assessment team was at the presidency to have first-hand information of the progress made for the forthcoming summit in May this year. The government has been ramping up work to meet the deadline after several times of postponing the summit. More on this report.
His Excellency President Adama Barrow on Tuesday hosted the OIC assessment team led by the Assistant Secretary General for Political Affairs, His Excellency Ambassador Yusuf Aldobe, with his team at the State House in Banjul. The theme is in the Gambia to discuss and have first-hand information of the progress made for the forthcoming Islamic Summit in May this year. After a closed-door meeting with the Gambian leader, His Excellency Ambassador Aldobe said through a translator that Gambia has done a huge effort in completing the ongoing infrastructure projects.
Since we came the day before yesterday, we realized that Gambia had done huge effort to complete these roads and to complete these infrastructure that all member states they need to host this summit. And for this, we have also a meeting with His Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Gambia. He gave the same impression and the same, he expressed also the level of readiness of the Gambia to host this summit. It means from now we can tell to all member states that the Gambia is ready to host this summit because all this infrastructure, toward the hotels, toward the road, are ready to host this summit.
He added that President Barrow has expressed the level of willingness and readiness in hosting the world's second largest summit in the Gambia.
His Excellency the President and with His Excellency the Foreign Minister of Gambia to assess on the level of readiness of the Gambia toward hosting this summit. During this meeting with His Excellency the President, we get his advice, we get his instruction, we get his suggestion regarding a good hosting of this summit. And we told to His Excellency the President that yesterday we had a site visit to take stock on what has been done for the road especially and for the hotel and the conference hall.
The Gambia is expected to host the world's second largest summit of world leaders in the Gambia in May after the postponement of the 2019 summit. Aissatou Koli, Gambian Talents TV News.
Gambian rapper Abdoulaye Atta has wowed his fans as soon as he took onto the stage to perform during the Putin concert. The rapper's fans groove along with him in an electrifying mood as they sang along with him on almost every single he performed. Jaina Baba prepares this report.
Smartly dressed in his white costume, Attack was welcomed historically onto the stage in a colorful cage styled with exceptional fireworks, as dozens of fellow artists, including Jizzle, who just stunned the music fans a week ago after pulling a huge crowd described to be one of the best shows held at City. He started his music career immediately after graduating at SOS Senior Secondary School while he was under G level for a while with energy pumping rap similar to By Babu. A collab between the two ensured titled Badujak. The first video track under the Team G Music hit rooftop on local tales and radios. In the hit-making vibe, Attack compared himself to Gambia's soul standout international boxer Badu Jack in a compelling ego-trapping track that would later fetch him an award at the annual Gambia Music Awards, known to most as Wassa Halat Awards, coming at the turn of every year. He is a multiple award winner. His recent show was successful. Congratulations again. However, critics said that the rapper's Putin concert got so many things right and so many things wrong, which thought was oversight or probably overconfidence. According to them, the Putin concert had the potential to pull out a huge crowd compared to Boom concert, maybe ever more, but what happened? Adding that apart from the rapper's press conference which was done days prior to the concert, Attack wasn't seen anywhere on an interview, neither talking about the event. We only saw a few TikTokers trying to hype the event a few days before the show. Reporting for Gttv, I am Jenna Baba.
The reggae community has been reeling after sad news of passing of Peter Anthony Morgan, lead singer of the popular reggae band Morgan Heritage, that he founded with his 4 siblings, was announced on Sunday at age 46. The family asked for privacy and thanked people in advance for their love and support. The statement posted on social media did not share a cause of death. Morgan, known as Peter, was the son of renowned Jamaican reggae singer Darren Morgan. Modula Minjob reports.
The death of Peter Anthony Morgan, the lead singer of the reggae band Morgan Heritage, a Grammy Award-winning group that was formed by children of the singer Denroy Morgan and came to be known for its varied influences and tight vocal harmonies, on Sunday sent a shockwave in global music, especially the reggae family. He was 46 as his family confirmed his death in a statement on the band's social media platforms. Mr. Morgan, known as Peter, started Morgan Heritage with 7 of his siblings in the 1994. The band later became acquainted for some early albums including Protect Us Jah 1997 and Don't Have It Dread 1999. Morgan Heritage worked with Bobby Digital, one of Jamaica's most influential producers. Before a show at New York City's Irving Plaza in 1999, a New York Times music critic wrote that the band holds onto the 1970s reggae traditions of harmony singing the thoughtful messages. But Morgan Heritage was more than a throwback to an older era of reggae. AllMusic.com described its sounds as a blend of elements of roots, reggae lovers, rock, soul, R&B, and calypso, gospel club, and on occasion funk and dancehall. Several Morgan Heritage albums had deep runs on the Billboard reggae charts. One of them, Strictly Roots, won for Best Reggae Album of the Year at the 2015 Grammy Awards. The band's album Avracadabra was up for the same award 2 years later, but lost out to Stone Hill by Damian Marley, a son of Bob Marley. Information about Mr. Morgan's survivors was not immediately available. His family statement described him as a husband, father, son, and brother. Peter Anthony Morgan was one of more than 24 children of Denroy Morgan, a reggae star who was born in Jamaica and died in 2022. Peter Morgan and some of his siblings were educated in Springfield, Mass. Where their grandmother lived. The Harvard Courant newspaper reported in 1997 their father was living in New York City at the time. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Woodlamin Job.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. From that story by Modulami Job will lead us to our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the international scene. Stay tuned. Guinea's military junta has appointed the former opposition leader Mamadou Wuriba prime minister a week after it abruptly dissolved the government. His appointment comes amid growing dissatisfaction with the junta. 2 people were killed on Monday after police clash with protesters during a nationwide worker strike. More on this report.
Trade unions have been demanding lower food prices as Guineans struggle with the high cost of living. Ms. Daba, popularly known in the Guinea as Baori, has urged the unions to call off the strike and highlight what we can do together to solve the big challenges gradually, step by step. The trained economics is expected to not only set up new government to replace the one that was dismissed, but also take steps to alleviate the economic hardship facing millions of Guineans. The swearing-in of the new prime minister was witnessed by interim President Mamadi Doumbouya, who led Guineans armed forces to overthrow elected President Alpha Condé in September 2021. Mr. Ba, 65, has been a popular fixture in Guinean politics since the early 1990s. He served as Minister of Reconciliation in consensus government formed in 2007. He spent 4 years in exile in France after he was implicated in a 2011 attack on President Condé's home, but returned home in 2016 after the president pardoned him. Guinea is expected to hold elections to restore democratic rules in 10 months when the 24-month transition period set by the junta and regional bloc ECOWAS expire. Reporting for Gttv News, Ailam San.
Now, Nigeria has imposed a mandatory annual levy for organizations employing expatriate workers, requiring them to pay $15,000 for a director and $10,000 for categories. The move is meant to encourage foreign companies to employ more Nigerian workers. Staff of diplomatic missions and government officials are exempted. Fatuju files in this report.
President Bola Tinubu has warned that the levy should not be used to frustrate potential investors. He spoke while launching the Expatriate Employment Levy (EEL) handbook on Tuesday, adding that the government was expecting to improve revenue and indigenization. He said that its aim was to balance employment opportunities between Nigerians and expatriates. The goal is to close wage gaps between expatriates and the Nigerian labor force while increasing employment opportunities for qualified Nigerians in foreign companies in the country. He said he expected the implementation of the program to be clear to achieve its objectives. There are more than 150,000 expatriates in Nigeria, according to local media citing data from the Interior Ministry. They mostly work in the oil and gas, construction, telecommunication, and hospitality sectors. The move comes as Nigeria is experiencing worst economic crisis in a generation, which has led to widespread hardship and anger in recent months. Labor unions and government workers on Tuesday held demonstration to protest against economic hardship. Mr. Tinubu acknowledged that Nigerians were going through a difficult period. He said efforts were being made to improve the country's finance and grow the economy. The levy applies to employees who work for at least 183 days in an year. The same imposes fines of up to 3 years and jail terms of up to 5 years for a person or organizations that do not comply, including failure to provide accurate information. The Nigerian Immigration Service will be responsible for enforcing the levy. Local media quote Interior Minister Olumuyibi Tinubu Oje as saying that it was to be operated on a public-private partnership model between the government to immigration service and a private firm. Fatou Diouf, Gambian Talents TV.
That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, let's recap the main top stories once again. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday received agriculture experts from United States who are in the country to help diversify the agriculture into mechanic. Hundreds of river travelers have been speaking out their concerns after the Gambia Ferry Service took both ferries out of service for maintenance. Atagay has wowed fans with a spectacular performance in his put-in concert. The lead singer of Morgan Heritage, Peter Morgan, has died at age 46. In internationals, Nigeria has imposed annual levy on expertise workers amid biting economic challenges. Guinea's junta has appointed former opposition leader Mamadou Wuri Ba as new prime minister. Well, that's it from our news bulletin tonight. I have been your presenter in this news bulletin. Do have a restful night and keep following Gttv for more news and fascinating programs. Until then, do have a peaceful night. It's a bye from me and the entire production team.